As my wife and I were wrapping up our month and a half in Tunisia, we took some time to reflect on some of our best experiences in the country. In this video, I will share with you what we think is the best scenery, our best advice to you about visiting Tunisia, our most terrifying moment, the single best thing about Tunisia, and many other awards throughout this video. My name is Ryan, my wife Emily and I are the Snail Travelers. If I told you to close your eyes and picture the Sahara Desert in your mind, what would it look like? Probably something like this, right? Endless waves of rippled sand dunes stretching out as far as the eye can see. You probably wouldn't picture this when thinking about the Sahara Desert, water, would you? The oasis regions of the desert in Tunisia offer some of the best scenic spots if you were to ask me. You might also not expect to see mountains in the middle of the desert, but the mountains do indeed provide a unique landscape that you won't find in many other parts of the world. It's these mountains that separate the Sahara from the fertile land in the northern part of Tunisia. And what is this, snow? Nope, it's salt on the edges of one of the biggest salt lakes in the Sahara. We think the desert area of Tunisia truly is picturesque, and this region wins our award for the country's best scenery. So I just told you about the geographical landscape in the desert, but what picture would come to your mind if I told you to think about the people in the desert? Maybe you'd think about people wearing Star Wars Jedi robes, and you'd be on the right track about the clothing. Many people in the desert wear jilaba robes and have not abandoned their way of dress, unlike many other cultures that have lost their traditional dress. And the ethnic group that has the oldest history in the desert region of Tunisia are the Berbers. The Berber people have established villages in the desert, some of which we visited in Tunisia, especially in the Tatooine region of Tunisia. One such village that you are seeing here is called Chainani. Although it is a bit touristy, to be perfectly honest, there are still a few hundred Berber people living in Chainani. Another Berber village that is nearby is called Tujane, which is more active in a sense that more Berber people still live here in the village of Tujane compared to Chainani. We were absolutely fascinated by what we learned about the Berber people, and this wins the award for being the best cultural experience in Tunisia. Like most places Emily and I have visited in the world, we found that our favorite restaurants are the ones that are not frequented by tourists. We sought out these restaurants in all 12 cities we visited in Tunisia, and our favorite of these was this restaurant in Tunis. I can't tell you the name of this restaurant because it was in Arabic, but what I can tell you is that the chicken we had here was the best that we had not only during our time in Tunisia, but also probably the best chicken we've ever had anywhere in the world. Now, some of the most delicious food we had wasn't from the restaurants, but was from the street food carts and small kiosks. And our favorite street food is something called moui. This is sort of like a tortilla wrap that has kind of an almost chewy, elastic texture. It reminded me a little of the consistency of roti canai from Malaysia. What goes inside the wrap is up to you, but some common ingredients include egg, tuna, or chicken, along with a couple of slices of that fake processed cheese that is so delicious. We like chicken the best, and our least favorite variety was tuna. Neither Emily nor I have taste buds that find tuna favorable, but it is a common food item in Tunisia. So yeah, I've got 3 awards to give out here. The best restaurant award was the one in Tunis with the name in Arabic that I can't pronounce. Moui gets our award for the best street food, and tuna is the award for our least favorite food. And be sure to hit that subscribe button because I'm going to tell you our all-time favorite Tunisian food in our next video about the pros and cons for living in Tunisia. If you watched our previous video from here in Tunisia, then you saw some of the Star Wars sites that we visited, but I saved our 2 favorite places where Star Wars was filmed for this video. There is a place here in Tunisia called Qasr Hadada that was used as a filming location in episode 1. It is now open for visits and has been maintained pretty well and is in good condition. Berber people did actually live here a long time ago, in a galaxy not so far away, but now it is more of a tourist site. Now, when I was a kid, I dressed up as Luke Skywalker for Halloween, and I always thought it was so cool that he lived in a house that was underground. Well, we got to see his house in a village called Matmata here in Tunisia. It is now a hotel, so it would be possible to live in Luke Skywalker's house for a few days, if you wanted to. Of all the Star Wars filming sites that we visited, this one was my personal favorite and Emily's favorite too. And Chewbacca also enjoyed visiting here with us. He actually wanted to stay longer. Our visit here in what is now called Hotel Sidi Idris was truly out of this world, and so Luke Skywalker's house wins our award for the best Star Wars site in Tunisia. If you've been following our story, then you know we were in a desert town called Tozer, and eventually it was time to say goodbye to Tozer and move on to our next destination. The shared taxis that go between towns leave whenever they get full, and after waiting for 2 hours, we were still 2 passengers short to fill up the van. Although we don't speak Arabic, we could tell that the passengers who were ready to go wanted us all to chip in to pay for the extra seats. We agreed to pay 5 dinar, or about $1.50 each, and we were soon on our way out of Tozer. One of the passengers was taking some of Tozer's delicious dates back to his hometown, and he gave us a few to have as a snack. This man is in the Tunisian military, and I didn't know if it would be appropriate to take his picture, so I can't show him to you. But I can tell you that all the people we met in Tunisia were so kind, and the people here win the award for the single best thing about Tunisia. Once we arrived in Jerba, we walked about half an hour to get to our accommodation where we would be staying, located in a slightly more remote area of the island. The Airbnb apartment that we stayed in was absolutely fabulous, very modern and comfortable. We loved hanging out in the sitting area and looking out the window where we could see flamingos having dinner in the bay and could watch the fishermen rowing their boats to and from the harbor. We slept so good in the apartment because it was very quiet at night, and I think this apartment had the biggest and best bathroom we've ever experienced. We stayed in 5 different apartments and hotels in Tunisia, and this one easily wins the award for the best accommodation we had in Tunisia, if not the entire world. On our very first full day in Tunisia, Emily and I were walking through an area of Tunis that was a little less developed when a dog started barking at us very, very loudly. Pretty soon, several more dogs joined in, and not long after that, these dogs started running toward us in a way that was extremely aggressive. We were very quickly surrounded, and a few of them lurched themselves toward us like they were trying to attack. We had no idea how to handle a situation like this, and all I could think to do was to yell at them, to try to scare them, and to walk away calmly. So that's what we did. Once we got back to our accommodation, we did an internet search on how to handle a situation like this, but in the moment, we were in a state of panic. The dogs I've been showing you in the video clips aren't the ones that attacked us. I obviously didn't stop to take a video in that moment. And fortunately, this never happened again during our time in Tunisia, but I can tell you that this definitely wins the award for being our most terrifying moment in Tunisia. And the final category is our advice to anyone planning to come to Tunisia, and here it is. Don't come to Tunisia and spend the entire time behind the gates of your 5-star all-inclusive hotel and only eating pizza the entire time. I guess if that's the kind of travel that makes you happy, then to each his own. But we truly believe that Tunisia has so much more to offer. Get out there and see the beautiful country and culture. Eat at the same places where the Tunisian people eat. Travel around the country the same way the Tunisian people travel around the country. Shop at the same places where the Tunisian people shop. See the fantastic smiles on the people here, and then you will experience the best of Tunisia and the true Tunisia. Like I mentioned, our next video will be about living in Tunisia. I'll put that video here when it's ready. Down here is a link to our previous video about the adventurous side of Tunisia, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. Thanks for traveling with us.